These are my friends. Come along with me, see how the story ends.
This episode is brought to you by testkitplus.com. We all know how important it is to prioritize your health and well-being, especially when it comes to recreational activities. That's why we want to tell you about our buddies over there. They can be your go-to resource for high-quality, easy-to-use recreational test kits. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway, attending a music festival, or just having a good time with your friends, it's really important to make sure you know what you're putting into your body. So head on over to testkitplus.com/professional hippies. That way you can be sure you're safe and you have the peace of mind of what you're putting in your body. They have test kits designed to detect a wide range of substances, providing accurate and reliable results in the comfort of your own home. Knowledge is power, so don't leave anything to chance. Again, that's testkitplus.com/professional hippies. This episode is brought to you by North Spore. Ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the forest floor? What if I told you there's a hidden kingdom waiting to be explored right in your own home? North Spore is your getaway to this magical world. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned mycologist, North Spore has everything you need to cultivate culinary delights, medicinal powerhouses, and even a little mind-expanding magic. Unlock the power of fungi with their top-notch spawn, easy-to-use kits, and a treasure trove of knowledge. If you're ready to embark on your mushroom journey, visit northspore.com and discover a community of passionate growers, expert resources, and endless possibilities. It's time to tap into the ancient wisdom of fungi and transform your world. Be sure to use code PROFESSIONALHIPPIES for a very special discount to fuel your fungal exploration. North Spore, where wonder grows.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. How you doing out there? Welcome back to another episode of Professional Hippies. We missed you. We did good. We got this out, right? So sometimes when you're thinking about the recording schedule, tomorrow's your today, yesterday is next week,
Exactly.
420 is happening tomorrow. It's all relative.
Yeah, I love how 420 was already on you and Michael's mind, thinking that was the episode tomorrow, which we could still take a couple edibles and go into it. But yeah, 420 is a little ways farther away.
Yeah. So
sure.
anyway, we got the recording schedule figured out, and we're back in your earballs today. So if you don't know us, I'm Colton. This is Dylan, and we're the hosts of Professional Hippies. So we like to be strange sometimes. This episode's gonna be a little strange,
a little shorter, a little strange.
But short and strange can be a really good combo, especially if you're in Vegas.
Let's think about strange for a second. What type of are we going to do? We're going to the Eclipse Festival.
Yeah,
excited about that. It's official.
Yep,
that's official. We're making it to that. Are we going to do a totem pole for this one, or what? Do we get like Sun Daddy on a totem? Moon Mommy. You know?
So what I was the reason why I want to transition hot into this so we could capture this moment is how incredibly irritating do you think it would be when I don't know how often the eclipse happens. It promoted like whatever once in 6 decades, something like that. Right when the major eclipse happens, because we're gonna be dead center. Like if we stay for it, it'd be perfectly blacked out. You have one of those really nice garage lights from like Home Depot, like good 40 ampere, and you click that bad boy on and just bring some light into the area.
That one that you grew up with, your dad stole off a construction site, back in the day, and it just hangs.
Fuck it, we could bring a generator in, just pipe a line right into the center.
Turn it on, like, pretty dark in here. Click.
I mean, the 15-year-old me wants to really get behind that idea, and then you just layer on some experience and wisdom, and
you find a car and just play the joke like, hold the light steady during the eclipse.
The totem that I want the most, and I've said this ad nauseum when we were at Burning Man, was somebody had a check engine light as a totem.
That's cool.
And it kept going on and off. So they would just turn it on, turn it off. I was like, man,
that's too close to home.
That's the problem.
You're like, sir, you're giving me PTSD here. I need
It
to
hurts
stay
too
off.
good, you know? But yeah, I love the way you broke down the lineup. I didn't know that those were the different days. So we'll see some people we're really excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Of course, missing Daily Bread. Unfortunately, keep trying to catch them at different places, but is what it is.
This might be one of the
Thursday.
festivals where I actually make an attempt to do the fun stuff on the side, not at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I would like to go see an astronaut give a little speech. I think they have multiple astronauts. They got people from Blue Origin, SpaceX.
What do you have to do to qualify to be an astronaut? Like you can just be an astronaut and not go to space, right?
Remember all those boring smart people in school?
Uh-huh.
They grew up to be astronauts.
No. Okay. So, like, can you be a scuba diver and not have dove
What's dove?
Dove into the water? Dived?
Can you be a scuba diver and not have been in water before?
This clip's going to make me look really stupid. Okay.
I don't think you can do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you be an astronaut that hasn't gone into space?
That's a good point. Are you considered an astronaut before, even if you go through all the training, do you still get that term labeled?
Or are you just a space cadet in the Space Force?
Maybe you're a space cadet in training,
right?
Until you're on that shuttle, and they're like,
we are straddling the line of fucking retarded and making a point.
They're going up in the rocket, and the guy's like, I'm an astronaut. And back at headquarters, they're like, nope, still cadet. I haven't broke through that atmosphere yet. They're like, nope, yeah, another 3,000 feet to go.
Yeah, because at some point, I mean, even the International Space Station, like, it's not. Is it completely in space, or is it it's in
higher orbit?
Higher orbit.
I believe higher orbit is what it is.
I think it's just going really fast around the Earth.
Most people would consider. Yeah, I learned that not long ago that it still has it goes around the Earth super fast, of course, but it still has whatever. It has to still adjust itself to maintain the orbit because it's still being pulled in by the gravity of the Earth.
Yeah.
Man, imagine your thruster just stops and they're like, "Ah, shit."
So where we're getting at, there is definitely a virginity line for space.
I would say it's got to be, right? Maybe it's you're not an astronaut until you're floating. You know, once you start floating, then you get the term.
In my book. But you're on a rocket that's going, like, the Blue Origin one, I have a tough time. Are you an astronaut if you go on kind of like an extended bungee jump?
It's like Virgin. They have that one that like goes into the lowest part, but you still kind of float around for a bit and come back down.
Yeah, but are those astronauts?
Are those astronauts? Yeah. Are you considered an astronaut?
If I go snorkeling, am I a space dover? Or wait.
Yeah. Am I a diving cadet?
No, so I would like to see someone that claims the Earth is not flat.
If you take enough mushrooms, are you an astronaut? Because there's some people that have been up.
Have you met? I've been there for it. But how many people do you think you have met that have taken so many hallucinogenics that they just flat out claim that they have figured it out? And not in a love is the answer kind of way. I mean, that's what all this is about, what it kind of boils down to. Love, happiness, enjoying the passage of time, whatever that construct is. I'm talking to people that like start to say, I have been a president in my lifetime or my past lives. You know, I've been polygamist, or, you know, I've conquered whatever mountain or whatever. It's always something cool. It's never somebody I did.
I always like when they say that. I always like when they tell me that, because then I look them dead in the eye and I go, so what went wrong now? That just kind of, I watch it trigger and they're like, well, you know, and I'm like, you're seeing this greatness you've had in the past. Where did it go wrong here?
That's the sound of a dead alternator. When you ask a question like that, you hear the click, you hear the fire.
That's the spark plug blowing on our way to Vegas.
I had a really trippy dream the other night. I wasn't quite asleep. I was telling Abby about it. Before I was drifting off, it was like when you have one of those experiences where you're kind of returning to source or God or heaven or whatever. And it was like I was feeling consciousness kind of reach out, kind of like that white light into tunnel type of experience. And it kind of felt like I was dying. But at the end of the day, I was like, I don't feel like going there yet. I feel really happy about the life I'm at right now. So I'm good. Thanks for checking in. And Source was like, cool. Because just so you know, like, it's really fun over here. But when you come here, you're going to figure out all this stuff here because that's what makes you here. I was like, interesting point. I still don't think I'm ready to die. Like, all right, cool. Let's check it in. See here when you need it.
It's over here, though. There's a party. Yeah. You can get in.
That should be a Meat Canyon video.
Little sacrifice.
Jesus did it. Was it for you? Was it for him? I don't know. But it's fun.
Who knows?
It's really cool over there.
Fun back there. Just letting you know.
The guy checking the list at the front has a gun just in case. You're not on the list. Ta-da!
We can get you there, though.
Got another one.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know who I was having the conversation with not long ago, but like, what if people were just bored on the other side and then they wanted to try something new? So then this is something new. And then they're like, all right, I'm tired of this.
Wasn't it Dean we had that conversation with?
Might have been with Dean. Yeah. It's just like, yeah, this is like their vacation, you know? Like, hey, I want to go on vacation.
You like, we're all in Source. Like, you and I are up there and we just get a wilder hair, upper ass, challenging each other. It's like, you won't come back as a quadriplegic, autistic person. And you're like, you know what? Fine. I'll be back in a little bit.
5 minutes. Right back.
Like an episode of Midnight Gospel. You just get back and you're like, woo!
That was crazy.
Rough.
Get a lot of benefits, though. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. People wash your ass. I wonder how long we're going to live to.
82.
Yeah, maybe not us specifically. We might not be the best kid. I wonder what is going to be the regular age when we get older of people dying. Like, if it's going to continue to increase. Supposedly, it has been, right?
It has been increasing. Yeah.
On average.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll be sitting around probably 80 something. That's my guess. You get 10, 15 years to enjoy your non-existent Social Security. And
it is wild, the disparity. After 60, some people show their age amazingly well. It's almost like all your lifetime decisions catch up with you right around mid-60s. Mm-hmm. And some people, you're like, woof.
I think it's a lot of people that don't keep moving. Like all the people that didn't really just stay moving, stay active a little bit. You just see it start, their body going, hey, you've showed all your life. You didn't want to do nothing. We're going to do nothing now.
Yeah, no kidding. That's an interesting point. You stop moving and you tell your body, like, I just want to relax. Everything just slows down.
Hey, I'll get you to relax. We'll do a big relax.
I don't want to relax, and my back is making me feel like you should relax.
Yeah, I especially like if most of the people that have been doing like hard labor too always pass pretty early just because they've been beating up their body. But it's the ones that like just stay like walking. They do like average workouts. All the people that have been doing like big powerlifting, heavy weights don't last long. But it's the ones that are just doing like mild cardio that progress longer.
Yeah, I think strength training is really important. I think there's a difference between like, technically there is a difference between strength training and powerlifting, right? Like people that really get after it, Olympic weightlifting, destroying their body kind of stuff. Like, I wonder what CrossFit's going to do to people long term. That's really intense on the body.
It's already been killing people.
Has it?
Sure. All those get-ups.
I mean, that's the thing. I really enjoy CrossFit, but my body did not. It was like building imbalances in my body. And all of the friends that I've turned on to CrossFit or have gotten into CrossFit in kind of that era essentially went through the exact same problems I did. Like really relatively the exact same areas where it's just the programming. If you're not supplementing the programming, it's tough. It's rough on the body.
Just go for a nice walk. Pick something heavy up, put it back down.
Do you like walking?
I love walking. I used to love running.
I hate it.
I used to love running before I had all the knee problems.
Can't stand it.
I love walking. Put in a good podcast. You go explore the area. It's how you also find like good homes for sale, good properties for sale.
Well, you have a nice area to go explore. Not that my area isn't nice to explore, but
Where you lived in Ybor was pretty interesting. I probably wouldn't have walked around there too much.
See, that's the weird part. Okay, you're on to something. I loved walking around.
You loved walking. You loved walking around there.
Loved it. Yeah. Something about like I would go running every morning about 5:30 in the morning. I would just do afternoon walks, take a break. Something about a man. I saw a guy that was sure as shit thought he was on fire. I mean, screaming bloody murder. Had his backpack on the sidewalk, running around, saying, "Put me out, put me out." My adrenaline hit really quick, and I was like, that's either my problem or not my problem, fight or flight. And then I felt that energy come in, and I was like, no, that guy's definitely on drugs. So I just was like, hey, man, you're okay. Just locked eyes with him. He started walking towards me. I was like, don't do that, but you're okay. And then he just started to calm down. He's like, sorry, I feel like I'm on fire. And I was like, well, did you take some drugs? And he was like, yeah, I did. I was like, okay, well, you're going to be all right. And he was like, okay, all right. Do you know where my backpack is? I was like, is that your backpack? Like, yeah. It's like everything I own's in it. And I was like, oh, damn. Well, the backpack's empty, but you're going to be okay. And he fucking spiraled after that. Nothing was gone from the bag. It was fine. But I wanted to make sure he was okay. And then I could kind of introduce my flavor into the situation.
You're much nicer than me. I would have been like, you're fine. Don't touch the bag, though. It's on fire. You put the bag down, you're not on fire anymore.
Poor guy, like I was at a run at 5:30 in the morning, stopped at a stop sign for a car to pass, and he like said something. I had my earbuds in. I was like, what? I pull him out, and he's like, do you have a lighter? And I had no shirt on, just running shoes and like, running shorts. I looked down at myself, looked back up at him. I was like, do I look like somebody would have a lighter? And he just checked himself for a second. He's like, yeah, man, what the fuck am I talking about? I was like, no, that was a funny joke, though. He's like, yeah, anyway, have a good run, man.
I've felt bad many times because I do like someone that should have a lighter. If people have asked me for a lighter, I did have a lighter. They're like, oh, like look of disappointment. Like, this dude definitely has a lighter.
You should carry magnifying glasses, little mini magnifying glasses, and put it in your keychain. So someone has to work for it.
Let me get you. That would be funny at Eclipse Festival. Is to carry around. So when everyone asks, you're like, let me get it. Well, we still got it. Let me get it for you.
Professional hippie branded magnifying glasses.
We're all natural, baby.
In a time of need, you can really count on the sun. If there's one source of energy that's never going to go away, well, not never. At least in our lifetimes, right?
Yeah. We'll always have the sun.
Is the sun nuclear fission or nuclear fusion?
It's nuclear. I don't know which one.
Yeah. But not nuclear like a nuclear family, which I think is an odd name for post-World War II.
I pay smarter people with my taxes to figure that out for us.
Now that I'm a W-2, taxes are not hard.
They are once you start getting into stuff. We
like
started
what?
Like we got a business and investment properties and all that, and I started realizing like how much more time it was going to take for me to figure this out, and I was just like, nah, I'm going to hire somebody.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Just hire somebody. I mean, I'm working backwards. I'm going from the 1099 S corp.
Oh yeah, when you get W-2s, it's easy. Like if you just have a W-2, it's easy. You can
all the other stuff's been set up. The government just tells you flat out up front how hard they're going to fuck you on a W-2.
Just tell me how much I owe, and I'll pay it. But then again, how much do you really trust the government? So then people are saying, just tell me how much I owe. And then all of a sudden, your taxes jump up one year, and you're like, wait a minute. And then you go try to figure it out.
That's what I don't understand. Like, I had a call with my accountant the other night for Abby and I, and she was like, well, they're going to reserve this part of it for you, and then you get a refund. Why do we get a refund? What is the refund?
Because you pay too much into taxes. People that didn't pay enough into their taxes this year have to pay more when they go and run their taxes.
That's what I don't understand, though. I've never I've always taken the taxes, set them aside in an interest-bearing account, right? I'm accruing money and wait for the end of the year, and then I just pay them because I know exactly what I owe them.
Mm-hmm.
How's that different from a W-2?
W-2, they're pulling more during the year and then giving. It's like a loan to the government, and then they pay you back at the end of the year. It makes you feel good at the end of the year, whereas all the people that are making oogles amount of money, they tax more, and then they go, "Hey, we tax you more, but now you still also owe more because you're
But
in the
that's the
higher
thing.
tax
They do
brackets."
not. The people that make oogles amount of more money don't pay more in tax. They pay less in taxes.
They pay less in taxes because they figure out how to offset the taxes and get the write off. It's not that they don't pay. If they didn't do any of the loophole type stuff, they would be paying way more in taxes.
Oh yeah, sure.
But they know they also pay people to figure out it's cheaper to pay someone to figure out how to find the loopholes to save dollars. So I'll spend a little bit of money in order to save a lot of money.
That's what pisses me off about W-2. They still expect people to pay someone to help them file their taxes. I mean, or TurboTax, whatever.
Or
that
TurboTax,
sucks.
H&R Block.
Yeah. I don't know. When I found out the tax rate, I mean, that was wild. It was like literally double or triple what I was paying for taxes with my own company.
Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah. Gotta love taxes. We had a whole war against paying taxes, and now we pay taxes. So
that is true, isn't it?
That was 1776. We're tired of paying taxes to the country, so we are tired. Let's not do taxes. Then we get our own country, and then America's like, we do need to like pay for stuff in the city. How are we going to do that? Well, we get a little bit of everybody's paycheck, just a little bit. Just siphon it, and we'll tell everyone it's a loan, and you get something back at the end of the year.
What's our GDP?
Oogle bajillion dollars.
Yeah? Is that where your final answer is?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, for 2023, our GDP was 26.5 trillion. Mm-hmm.
What's our debt?
I think the last time I saw it was 66 trillion.
We're doing good.
Wrong. We are doing not good. That is the definition of a carved no limit.
We're living like a rich person avoiding taxes.
You know what? Since we're talking about it, are there any countries not in debt? Switzerland is a country that in practically all economic and social metrics is an example to follow with a population Switzerland has no natural resources of its own.
Yeah, but that's important to mention is the population. It's a smaller population.
Yeah.
We can maintain the type of structure at Burning Man because it's a smaller population, but try to take that onto a nationwide scale and it crumbles immediately.
Although I can't vouch for Vindu2.com and their sources, but it does say, would you believe this? The United States is not even number one for most debt.
What?
That might be factually inaccurate. Hold on. The countries with the highest debt to GDP ratio, number one, Venezuela. I think we all saw that coming, right?
That makes sense.
Out. But, number two, Japan. Definitely didn't see that coming. Number three, Sudan. Number four, Greece. Again, some of these are not surprising. Number five, Italy. Kind of surprising. Number six, America. Followed by 7, France.
Well, we're not number one. We got to work on that. Let's get some battleships going here. Let's get that spending up and running.
I don't think there are any countries that have no debt.
But that's not bad if it's good debt.
Yeah. Well, the number one country with debt to GDP ratio is a country called Brunei.
Brunei.
Followed by Afghanistan. Number 3, Kuwait. These are all countries that are just broke as fuck. They just don't. Their credit was so bad they couldn't get a credit card anymore. So now they're attached to a debit card.
No, they're probably attached to the what are those? The quick check places. You go and get
a payday
quick
loan.
Payday loan. Yeah. with a 35% interest rate the day
Those
after
companies
you
are
pull
so predatory that if you try and pay them off early, you get penalized.
Yeah, so when I was really broke post college, I had to go to payday a couple times, and they would penalize me if I try to pay it off earlier. They're like, "Yeah, we recommend just waiting till like this date, and then it's better." And you're like, "What? That makes no sense." They're like,
Trying to
"Yeah,
give you back your money.
they want you to hold, and so they have to gain a certain amount of interest on it. That makes sense. And if you don't get it, they'll just penalize you for it."
Well, that makes sense though, because it's like whatever the dollar amount would be for interest, just pay them.
I'm like, yeah, but this take this as the loss. There's thousands of other people you're screwing. I just needed it actually for real quick.
There was one
use
in
this for a
Savannah
tool.
that would do pink slips. You would get payday advances against your pink slips. So if you fucked around, they got your car.
It's Savannah.
Yeah, it was like a used
Man.
car lot in front of the payday advance place.
And that's
like
a
literally
small enough,
selling cars in front of the place that you loan your car to.
and that's a small enough place you could be passing your car that got taken every day time you go to work for all these tourists coming in at a coffee shop. Damn it.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
getting all those liberal arts degrees, people there.
on a slightly related note, I figured out how crack is so pervasive. So we're redoing our fireplace area, and I took all the tile out, busted it out over the weekend, and then we're redoing it with like concrete, like a matte concrete kind of cool finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm redoing the electrical so we can like hide the TV electrical cord, dude. It's $7 a foot for electrical cord.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I was like,
wow,
I'm running at 10 feet. That's $70. But I can buy an extension cord for, I don't know, $20, you know?
But the electrical cord itself that to use for wiring in the house is $7 a foot.
That's what I saw at Home Depot. Yeah.
Was it, because I know different, I mean, I'm no electrician, but I feel like different cords are able to handle different wattages. Did you have like a very high
so at that
wattage?
point, I was not educated on if I needed 14 gauge or 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Which I'm fairly certain is 12 gauge for a circuit like that because of the load.
Yeah.
But I wasn't educated on that. I just saw the price and I was like, oh, I was going to pick it up while I was here, just get like 30 feet for extra shit around the house too. But I was like, I'm going to go measure that shit and come back and get exactly what I need, plus a foot or two.
Home update on my end. I have a door on my bathroom.
How's
I
that
don't even
feel?
know which of these buttons.
Yellow one. That might have been pink.
It's the greenish yellow on my end, but hell yeah. I don't even know. Since July, I haven't had a door on that thing. Finally got it up over the weekend.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel good about it.
Feel like a man.
Yeah, I had to cut it. It came up wrong. Had to trim it down even more, repaint it. It was
Doors
great.
can be low key one of the more frustrating projects to do in a house.
And like because they the old screws were a little bigger than the ones that came with it, it's falling off a little bit off the hinge and coming. So I'm gonna go to Home Depot, get some satin nickel bigger screws, but it's at least up and working. I was like, hell yeah.
Are you gonna get bigger screws for it, like deeper screws?
Probably just deeper screws, yeah. That way, because the other ones were the same length but a little bigger. So I'll just go further in.
If that doesn't work, by the way, the trick I learned is taking, I mean, any kind of wood, but what I found to be the best was golf tees. Take some wood glue, golf tees, hammer it in there, and then
that's a good one.
Sawzall it off. Not sawzall, a little
sandy,
a little abrasive tool or whatever. I can't remember
But that's a good way to do it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then you just re-drill the hole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to do it.
Because if you go bigger, sometimes from the previous screw, the little thread, the wood right there isn't crazy solid. So you try it. Try it first. If that doesn't work.
Toothpicks or golf tees. I like the golf tee idea.
Toothpicks works too, dude. It doesn't matter. Like if you have toothpicks around, just take a bunch of wood glue, dip them in there, cram it in there. Just like a golf tee works really well because it goes wider as it goes up.
Yeah.
So it's a flush fit where you need it, and the wood glue is backing the rest of it. Toothpicks work just fine too. Just anything you can cram in there really hard. It's always the answer.
DIY.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm figuring out how to concrete a whole wall next weekend.
Yeah, I've been putting up the drywall before the door too. Man, drywall is not hard, but just annoying. It's just one of those.
Drywall sucks.
It's not hard. It's just like measuring
Have you got
it
to
out,
the mudding part?
Right. No, I haven't got to mudding yet.
Yeah, that's the part that sucks. That's the part I'm specifically speaking to, is the feathering of the joint. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this.
It's honestly, it's not a skill that you want to learn. I would pay someone to do it. Go to the Home Depot parking lot, offer $200.
I just need someone to mud. I just need a mudder. I got all
the thing
equipment.
Is, it takes multiple times too. So it's expensive to hire it out because they got to wait for it to dry unless they're using Hot Mud 5. But they got to come back, like let it set, sand it, come back. So that's why it can be expensive. But I mean, I called Kel for advice on how to blend these things together, and he was like, I'll tell you, but just so you know, when you're done, it's going to look like shit. I was like, what?
Thanks, Kel. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's like, dude, it looks like garbage when I do it. So, that's what he does for a living.
You paint over it, and you go, that problem goes away.
That's the thing, though. It doesn't go away when you paint it.
Little primer.
No primer. You can't.
Are you talking about because it looks offset? It looks offset? Oh, yeah. Got it. Okay.
So you gotta do the seam, and then you feather it out a little bit. You feather out even more, and in between these, you're sanding them. Ideally, like with a wet sand, dry sand if it's too fast. So you're looking for about 2 to 3 applications, and so it's a smoothing process. It's like an art. And meanwhile, I have seen a Mexican do it in what took me 25 minutes. I've seen a Mexican do it in 20 seconds. Not kidding.
I feel like we've
screws and all.
We've had to have converted so many people on this podcast from doing, like, so many people would be like, I can DIY it, and just listen to us and be like, nah, I'll just pay someone to do
it's
this.
Fun. It's fun if you're into that. If you love getting your teeth kicked in and doing multiple trips to Home Depot, it's a blast.
I wonder if like the people at Home Depot just recognize us coming in so many times working on things. They've got to, right? Like, they've got to be like, yep, every Tuesday about 9, there he is. Yeah.
I took my flooring out because there was tile by the fireplace. Took that out. Took a couple pieces of flooring to Home Depot, and I was like, hey, I have pictures, but this is what I need. Like, this is the floor. And I'm like, okay, we don't have it. Go check out Floor and Decor or whatever. So I go to the biggest flooring warehouse thing I've ever seen. And he's like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this, man. What? I was like, any other places you think I check out? He's like, that's the problem. I'm not like really into flooring. I just work here, so I don't go to other flooring places.
We had a window that it looked like something was coming, like trim around the window or something was coming off, or some ceiling or something. I don't know. It was coming off. And I took it to the window guy at Home Depot. I was like, hey, have you seen like this weather trimming or weather whatever to put around the window? And he was like, I've never seen that before. He goes, I think that might just be the window itself, man, coming off. And I thought about it, and I went and looked, and I was like, he was right. It's just the window falling apart. I was like, oh, perfect. That's a super glue job. That turned into buying something new to being like, oh, I just need to glue the window back up. Perfect.
Didn't you get new windows?
This is on another property.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, not my house.
Because as I'm like thinking about it, I remember when you were going through that process, and I'm like, how expensive can windows really be?
They're hella expensive. But thankfully, my sales rep was desperate for a sale, and she did not know I knew how to work around those angles.
Buying stuff,
pretty good.
A blast. I'm a big fan of the buying process.
You try to convince people on Ebor that we're handing out free CDs why he should give you a free CD to listen to his tape on.
Well, yeah.
You're like, convince me why I should take your free CD and listen to this.
Were we drinking that day?
My CD. Huh?
Were we drinking that day?
You were hammered. Yeah.
That sounds like a really inebriated Colton moment.
It was a really inebriated Colton.
Yeah. Because I'm off. And by the way, that was a terrible CD.
I still have a CD. I still have a CD of a guy when I was Ubering. His tip to me, he was like, man, I don't have much money, but I've got a sample CD I can give you if you'd like. And I was like, honestly, just give me the tip now. We'll play it while we're in the car. We'll blast it through St. Pete. And we were just in the car blasting. I was like, can I keep it? He's like, hell yeah, man. So like, it's still it. I don't put CDs in my car. That's the only CD that's still in my car from 2 years ago.
Yeah, why would you? You know?
It's so funny. Every now and then I just turn it on though. Like, I hope he's out there listening somewhere to it. I hope I drive by it and he's like, hell yeah.
The only thing I was disappointed by is that CD Man led me on because I was really fired up for a good CD. I did pay the guy $20, just so everyone knows the finality to that loop right there. He convinced me. I gave him $20 and it was terrible. Like, so bad. I was impressed.
It's like, you're a good salesman, man. Let's get you out of making music and into selling knives.
Not about. If you can sell CDs, you can sell knives.
If you can sell CDs, you do probably pretty good in most things, I would say. Man,
especially nowadays.
Especially things talking about selling stuff. I put a bet on that. So that I want to talk about on here, the MAPS organization for the Cleats for a Cause. Folks, we put a bid on it. We're doing pretty good. Hopefully we'll get that.
That's not a we. There was no collect. That was you sent me the screenshot.
I put a bid on that. I'm hoping we get that because I'm going to be like, we got the MAPS cleats from the 49ers player. That'd be awesome. I couldn't believe that was up there. That was great.
Yeah. So did he play? He played in a game? It was a benefit?
They do a Cleats for a Cause game where all the players wear some sort of cleats that have an organization that they want to sponsor or help support. And one of the 49ers players had MAPS as it.
Did you watch the game last night?
I did.
Do you know what player it was?
It was a lineman, I think.
It'll tell you. Man, my heart really goes out for those poor fellows on the Niners.
John Feliciano.
That's a man that sticks his fingers out when he talks.
He's a guard. He's a guard for the Niners. He also lost yesterday. Poor guy.
I mean, honestly, though, that sucks. You forget when there's a dynasty created, how many broken skulls, hopes, and dreams are on that mound that they sit on.
Man, I put a bunch of money on the Chiefs to win, but I wanted the 49ers to win. But I was like, the Chiefs are plus 110 right now. I was like, got to make that bet. And then the 49ers were ahead in the first half, and then they were like plus 125. So I put more money down. I was like, Chiefs are a second half team.
Yeah.
They're going to come back.
What else? I don't know what else they could have done to win, aside from going on it on fourth down, you know?
Both defenses were exhausted by the end.
The Niners played championship ball. They did. I felt like they did enough to win. Maybe a couple decisions, you know, like I don't know if I entirely agree with the ball first, but the logic of in overtime, but the logic if they tied, if it goes to sudden death, they get the ball back, field goal wins it. That makes sense because they were making stops, but
it was interesting that the Niners talked about they didn't even really know what to do for overtime rules, the new overtime rules, whereas the Chiefs said they covered overtime rules all the way leading up to the game.
Yeah.
Of how to work that through that. Which makes sense. The Chiefs have gone through multiple overtimes now, so they were like, we need to be prepared for this.
Yeah, and I feel like the media is definitely like blowing out of proportion. Like all the players didn't know. It's like it's okay if some of the players didn't know. The coach knew what the fuck to do. So
the coach has to know what he's doing. Really,
he had a game plan. It was fine. It didn't work, but it was. I agree with it. Honestly, I don't know if I would have called that, but I'm also not an NFL coach. So one of the only things that did rub me weird around, I'm not even gonna say wrong, but like Tony Romo was getting really frustrated with some of the actions and the calls.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever been to a Super Bowl?
I said when I first got when the Super Bowl happened and they announced who it was, I said Tony Romo finally made it to the Super Bowl.
That's it. He's never been to a Super Bowl, right?
Never been to a Super Bowl. No.
Did he make it to a division championship?
Maybe
I
the
think
playoffs.
so.
Yeah, he made at least the playoffs, I think, but he never made it to the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, he finally made it.
Yeah. Because some of the times he was like, oh, why is it, why didn't Spike da da da? I was like, you really want to talk here, bro. Like everything else, by the way, like 99% of the coverage, I love. The dude was calling facts and spitting stats.
I love when he plays because he's calling ahead. He knows how to. I like when he's calling it out as if you're on the field.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen. That's awesome. Puts you into a different perspective of the game.
One time he described an edge rusher as the play's going on. He's like, oh, alert. Look, he knows this guy's coming. They're running away from him now. And then the play, it's hiked, and that's exactly what happened. And I'm like, oh, dude, I felt like I was a quarterback there for a second.
Yeah. I don't know who the Chris something is that one of the football announcers. It's basically that's who he was for the longest time because he was a receiver for the longest time.
Chris Collinsworth?
Chris Collinsworth, thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was pretty much that guy for a long time. But now you can tell
he was a Niners receiver too.
Oh yeah, he was.
Either that or
it's kind of crazy. But listen to him talk is very like old school style football.
Yeah.
Whereas Tony Romo, they put him in there. It's very new school talking through it.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see what Tom Brady does as a new analyst. I think for ESPN or Fox, one of the two.
I think it was for Fox.
Yeah, what he's going to be saying is, will him and Romo competitive against each other?
That's got to be the weird thing. Like if you were like Romo, and because they're both color commentators, right? Is that the term? Because there's two terms for the type of announcers. I mean, if you're Romo next to Brady, you for sure have little dick syndrome. Like you couldn't win one. You couldn't win one. This dude won 7.
You had a little backy problem. Got you out.
I mean,
you had to retire early.
When you win 7 of something, it sounds like that must be easy.
Well, it's a little frustrating that they're comparing Mahomes to Brady. Like, he's catching up to Brady, but there's QBs that have had 4 Super Bowl wins. I think Steve Young did. Who was the other guy? It was a 49ers guy. I forgot his name. But some of the people have already had 4 Super Bowl wins. He hasn't even caught up to them yet.
Are you sure? Because in the greatest quarterback conversation,
I'm glad we have our setup now to where we can look up our bullshit.
Joe Montana. Fact check. Joe Montana was 3. Right?
No, 4-0 record in Super Bowl starts.
Oh, Terry Bradshaw 4. Yeah. So Troy Aikman tied Joe Montana 4, Terry Bradshaw 4. So, yeah. I mean, everybody's gonna. I would still say Joe Montana's better.
Still got to catch up with Joe Montana
and old Terry.
Old Terry. What about Kurt Warner? No, Kurt Warner is 1 and 2.
Kurt Warner. Yeah, I mean, Mahomes for sure is one of the all-time greats already. I was really pulling for the Niners just because my heart's breaking for him. I wanted to see him win it. I feel like Kyle Shanahan's good enough coach to break through and get one. Just 100%. Like
I think so.
The quarterback for not the Chargers, the Rams, came from Detroit, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
The man was good enough for so long. It's like, just pay the man. Give him his one. But if everyone that gets one that's deserving of one got one, we wouldn't have dynasties.
Look at Dan Marino. Great, one of the greatest QBs of all time. Never got a QB. Which I love that he did the almost champion that Eminem did. Did you see that commercial?
Mm-mm.
That Eminem did a a thing where they created a special ring for almost champion, and Dan Marino was the spokesperson for it. I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause there's still a couple superheroes out there that I would love to see. Like I wanted Jalen Hurts to really get one.
I wanted the Lions to get one. I wanted to see the
so
Lions in the
bad.
Super Bowl.
So
Everyone wanted the
bad.
Lions.
But
Lions Ravens would have been crazy.
Did not deserve it. They fucking blew it. They did not play championship ball.
They got farther than they ever have.
Yeah.
For a long time.
For sure.
And so, yeah, but they were making too risky of calls trying to get there.
Yeah, once you're ahead, man, play ahead. Right?
Yeah.
Like take the points at that point.
Playing that type of risky play got you here, but now you're at a different level. You're at a different level now. You got to play a little bit more conservative.
I was telling the story of when we were in Vegas playing blackjack, and because I've lost twice at blackjack. Once was $20. I was up to 200, free drinks, whatever. So I lost $20 in Costa Rica. The second time I lost 200 and some odd dollars with you in Vegas, and there was a point where we were both up multiple hundreds of dollars 100%. In profit. Okay. And we were playing like the Lions. We're like, this is how you win.
That lady said you should get up and leave now. We were like, no, I want to be in pain when I get up from this table. She was okay.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Which I thought about this now. We played at that table for a long time. We had no servers coming up giving us free drinks. I noticed that. I just thought about that.
Yeah, we did.
Huh?
Yeah,
we never had.
No, you're stupid. Yes, we
never had any. Did
100%. 100%, buddy. Yeah,
I was just that gone.
Yeah,
it was a great time though.
Yeah, no, yeah. You just filled that in, bro.
That was the best time I've ever had, losing hundreds of dollars.
When the dealer is telling you should leave, your friends are telling you should leave.
They weren't telling us.
One friend
anything.
Still in it with you. Okay, I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm cool. Let's burn the money. I'm having a blast. I mean, I was on the verge of throwing up. I was laughing so hard. So when you're enjoying your money being spent that way, I mean, we played how many hours of blackjack? Probably 13
it was great.
Total.
The best part was telling our friends in the beginning of the weekend, none of you will survive with us until the end, but we're going to enjoy watching you try. And sure enough, it was just us at the end playing blackjack at the table.
I don't know what we won from that, but it felt good. It felt good.
We won a laughing memory.
Yeah.
It's something I can look back on when I'm losing money another time. It's like, sometimes it's all right to lose money.
Yeah. But you know it's never okay to lose? Our podcast in your feed. Hey, if you guys enjoy this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a vulgar comment specifically on our Instagram. If you can do that, or some YouTube kids channel out there will be inspired to start their own podcast that no one needs to hear, but somehow, some way, you're still with us, and we love you for it.
Thank you. Please leave those vulgar comments so I can respond back to you.
Yeah. Well, until next week. So, hey, by the way, quick promo for next week. It might be 420. So check your calendars.
Early 420. Might be
Hold
an
on,
early
let me
420
check.
episode.
I do have a bird with a fine ass on my calendar, and it said next week anything's possible. So until next week, guys, we love you.